Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Morning Dive at 11:55. I wanted to come and speak from the topic of dying on the hill of inclusion today. As a former athlete, I ran track. I ran 4 events, every track meet. And unless you live that lifestyle, you don't know what it takes. You don't know the strength training. You don't know the skill building. You don't know the mental prowess that it takes to wake up every single day and go out on that field or that court or whatever sport that you played and put your all into it, even to the point that you are building yourself enough to compete. And at my high school, we ran on a dirt track. So there were shin splints, there was booty lock, there was all kinds of stuff that we had to deal with. And we loved when we went to schools where we got to run on a rubber track. It was grueling. And yes, some people are there just for the sport, for the competition, but some people actually want to take it beyond the high school and the collegiate arena and go professional. And I think that's what people don't understand. Some people want to do this as a career. They want to be able to get up every day, train, and compete. So we have some new developments that have gone on, and I will get to that here in a moment. But I wanted to just take us through some of the things that people in the sports arena know already. Okay, people know this already. So the first video I want to show you, it's the 4x400. And if you're not familiar with track, the 400 is a full sprint around the track. Okay, it's not a jog, it's not like long distance cross country type of running. It's a full out sprint. And at one point, they decided that they wanted to make this event a mixed event. Now, they still have, all male, all female teams, but they have created a mixed event in this. And I want to show you the very, very first time that they held this event. And I want you to listen to what the commentary is, because these people know. So let's go.
Format. It's the mixed 4x400 relay. United States starting in lane 5.
Will London out well? I mentioned before the race started that the strength of his race will be the final 100 meters. This is a really good start for him, for Team USA.
And you see Jamaica and Nathan Allen keeping pace with the United States so far. Look on the outside at India, up to challenge Bahrain. Bahrain at a real deficit because they don't have any depth to their team. They're running the same team they ran yesterday, whereas the U.S. with all 4 fresh legs.
Will London coming third runner, you see on the left there, and Allyson Felix, it's about to take the baton. Here goes Felix.
Now I'm gonna keep letting this play, but I want to bring your attention to Allyson Felix. She is the most decorated athlete, female athlete that there is. She has medals in the 100, the 200, the 400. She is the poo.
And how many times have we seen Allyson Felix running on the second leg in the 4x4, but she's never run it in a mixed relay before. Okay, so here's the move we expect from Poland. Remember, they are running their 2 men first. So Amelko of Poland passes Allyson Felix and all the other women on this leg. Poland's job is to build a lead, Sonia, that their women who will run third and fourth will not relinquish.
Absolutely. We talked yesterday during the semifinal about the fact that men usually run about 5 seconds faster than women. So he will need to get about 50 to 60 meters ahead and hope that the women on his third and anchor leg can hold that.
Men run
Felix
5
has
seconds
kept ahead of
faster
the rest of the pack of
on
women.
average.
Courtney Okolo is ready to take the baton. Poland now hands over to the first female on their team.
So that's Bumgart Witten running the third leg. Courtney Okolo for the United States in second, giving chase, as well as Jamaica, Tiffany James on third leg for them.
And Allison Felix ran as well as they could have expected. She split 50.4, only 10 months after giving birth. Great run for her.
So
A lot of
Poland
women don't run
continuing to hold
50s
the
in
lead.
the 400,
But
just so
remember,
y'all know.
Poland will be handing off to another woman, whereas all of these other legs are going to be handing off to a man.
Is this strategy going to work out for Poland? Is that enough of a lead? I don't think so.
Well, it's certainly going to be exciting. Poland out front, but there are a lot of men giving chase.
Watch.
Michael
Watch
Cherry
this.
runs the anchor leg for the United States, and there is Michael.
It's not going to be enough. Not enough of a lead, Sonia, from Poland. And Cherry is going to quickly pass Poland for the lead.
Look at that. How many seconds did it take for him to pass her?
49.9 split and gave Michael Cherry just enough or more than enough for him to be able to dominate this leg and allow the U.S. to win easily in the first mixed relay.
Look at the clock at the bottom right of your screen. 2:56, 2:57. The world record last
Now
night
she's in
by
second
Team
at this
USA
point.
was
Look,
3:12.
now where's she at?
It will get smashed. Michael Cherry brings
Fourth.
it back for the first ever gold medal in 4x4
Fifth.
mixed relay history. A new world record.
Finishes 5th after being in first. She's not even on the podium. Her team is not even on the podium anymore. Sonia Richards-Ross said that it's on average 5 seconds that a man runs faster than a woman. If they were running 100 meters, most women run about a 10 on average in this professional arena. That man would be already across the line when she's at the 50-yard. When she's at the 50 meters. There's no way. There's no way. And yes, you have people like Flojo who blasted off and would leave people in the dust. And, you definitely see competition like that. But guess what? If you had to do that, if that happened to you every single time that you competed because you were running against a man, there's no way. There's no way. And that's just in track. Now, remember Serena Williams, a beast in her field playing tennis. What did she have to say about competing with a man?
Well, who would it be?
Well, I don't know. Let's say you
Okay.
would be the.
I was hoping you'd say.
All right, feminine side, and me.
And you. Oh. Well, actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match, and I'm like, Andy, seriously, like, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0, and 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because no, it's true. It's true.
Honestly,
really. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
Okay, so even Serena Williams only wants to play against women. And so it's one thing to, like you have in the mixed sports where people knowingly are doing that and competing in that way. But when you're in a single sex sport on a single sex sports team, you expect to play against people who are your actual competition. Okay, but then the wokeism started coming into play. Then it was, oh, well, the women can do anything that a man can do, and we have to start including everybody to do everything. You can, you had those people, and then the lesbians excuse me, but that's what they were in the soccer arena. Well, we call it soccer, they call it football over there. They decided that, oh no, we're going to show the men what we're worth. Okay, the women's soccer team, the American soccer team, starts going up against these men, even putting themselves and embarrassing themselves against teenage high schoolers, got their behinds kicked on the field.
First shot, and that's going to be a stop. A nice
Okay, there was no competition whatsoever.
Harris is again, you could expect some rifles coming in. Another one.
No competition.
That one. Did that hit the
Okay,
post?
I'm not going to show you that whole thing, but they lost 0-5. Men won against high schoolers, and they're a professional Olympic team. Okay, but then, of course, that wasn't enough. That was not enough. That they started allowing the men to enter into female MMA. Do y'all remember Fallon Fox? Do y'all remember Fallon Fox? Let me show you the beatdown that this gentleman was putting on the women in the ring. Remember this.
Fallon Fox is a retired American mixed martial artist who gained attention for being one of the first openly transgender fighters in professional MMA. Fox was assigned male at birth, but underwent gender confirmation surgery in 2006. She came out publicly as transgender.
Look at him! Look at him! Look at him! He does look strong. He looks...
In 2013, Fox's participation in women's MMA sparked debates and discussions about the inclusion of transgender athletes in sports, particularly in combat sports where physical strength and differences between male and female competitors could be more pronounced. Some argued that Fox's past male physiology could give her an advantage over cisgender female opponents, while others emphasized the importance of inclusivity and respecting transgender individuals' rights to compete in the gender with which they identify. Her story prompted sports organizations to reevaluate and update their policies on transgender athletes. The debate around transgender participation in sports remains a complex and ongoing discussion, with organizations working to strike a balance between inclusivity and maintaining fair competition.
Yeah, they wanted to do that. They wanted to include and be inclusive, and everybody gets to play and all that kind of stuff. This one right here, this fight right here, took all but 59 seconds for Fallon Fox to whoop this lady down and fracture her skull. Fracture her skull. There's a high school volleyball player that got a ball spiked to her head by a transgender player and paralyzed her behind. Not only can she not play anymore, she can't even walk. But this is where we're going. But we have a new development, because if those sports weren't enough, they want to bring Joanna Man from the television to the courts. Now, if you're not familiar with Joanna Man, 2003 movie where this man is in love with this girl, so he decides to join the WNBA so that he can get closer to her. The man still loved women, was gawking at women in the in the showers and different things like that, getting close to him, being able to massage him and all that kind of stuff. And people say, "Oh, well, this stuff doesn't happen." How can you say that? What about Leah Thomas? Leah Thomas had all his parts, and he loved women. Had just been dating a woman before he got onto the women's swim team. They said that man was undressing in front of the women in the locker room. And they said that those wetsuits take a long time to put on. So just imagine you got to put on a wetsuit in front of a man that you know, that's not your boo. So now his junk is out, your junk is out. Like, what are we really doing here? And this is what we want our high schoolers and stuff like that to endure. It's gone on way too long. So now in this recent development, there is a WNBA star by the name of Sophie Cunningham. She's getting all the flack right now because she says that she doesn't want to have to play against men. And they are coming down on her hard, calling her MAGA Barbie and everything like that. Let me show you what's going on.
Stop acting like somebody that's speaking up on behalf of girls, like a Sophie Cunningham, like a Riley Gaines, are scourges of the earth. You are Cheryl Reeves, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. That is an irresponsible thing to do. You are a coach for a female basketball team. Do you not think that the females are being screwed over if they have to compete against an individual born as a male? What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? It's not true. It is false. Nobody said you can't transition from male to female. The issue here is competing against the women. That's what Sophie Cunningham was talking about. That's what Riley Gaines is talking about. How are you Coach Cheryl Reeves and you could condone that? And then you're going to come out with a T-shirt. No regard for the WNBA. We got to stop acting like somebody that's speaking up on behalf of girls.
Okay, so like him or love him, he's right. And so this is what he's talking about. This coach decided that she was going to wear a shirt that says trans kids belong. And this is the gaslight right here. No one is saying that they should not be able to play sports. They're not being excluded from sports. They are being excluded from playing against members of the opposite sex. And I'm going to use the word sex because y'all, they got people in a chokehold with this whole gender word. The word gender etymologically means to procreate. So I don't understand why people feel it so much different than sex. Our sex organs define how it is that we procreate. But neither here nor there. We're not excluding people because of their sex. We just want the boys to play with the boys and the girls to play with the girls. But this lady decides that she's going to go against her own sport and wear this shirt.
She really is. Like, I think she's very aware of what she's doing. She doesn't think it's fair that biological girls should have to compete with biological boys. And while you can agree with what Sophie said, that's fine. I don't even think she really understands what she's talking about.
Even though she's been very evasive. About her politics, like, oh, it's some things I agree with on this side, some things I agree on that side, because she's trying to keep it vague. because I think she is playing into the persona.
I don't see this ending well for her and her teammates. It works well for the Indiana Fever, but what if she gets traded to another team? She has to work with other players who have really strong feelings about this. It's going to be promoted by MAGA, and the right is going to love you so much, and people are saying that maybe in a few years, yes, you'll be running for vice president.
Or you'll be on Fox News with your own show, or She understands her popularity and why she's popular, and she's feeding into that because she's thinking about what life looks like for her after basketball in terms of money. I don't want to call her an outright grifter, but I think she's seizing the opportunity.
I am friendly with Dana White, and what I mean by that is
Do you think that she's just seizing an opportunity so that she can find out, or that she can wiggle herself into a space after she gets done playing? Is that what this is really about? Jemele Hill, she's known for just saying the dumbest things, but it has really gotten to this, y'all. It has really gotten to this, that these women will grab a microphone and act as though these women athletes don't deserve a space. And let me make this clear. This goes for the men as well, because if I were a man playing in basketball or track or something, I wouldn't want to dumb myself down. I wouldn't want to feel like I can't play at my top level because I'm playing against a woman. I got to be afraid of not hitting her too hard, or running too fast, or jumping too high. I wouldn't want to do that either. I don't understand what is going on. And if that's not bad enough, y'all, oh, there's more. Oh, there's more.
In the regular season, but coming out of the break, one of the big news stories has been Sophie Cunningham and the protests for her and protests against her. And, they had a national televised game today, and Cheryl, wore a shirt, and it's just a conversation. I'm wondering, just what do you think about it? Do you think that's good for the league? Does it detract from the basketball? Is it just noise? I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
I think, thank you for that question. I think just in terms of how I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about, for my height, for my ethnicity, I've been in those "you shouldn't belong here" many times, and for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
It includes trans women. Real life Juwanna Mann. Like, it was haha funny back in the day. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore. So many women and girls have lost out on awards, on the scholarships, on being on the podium. It's not funny anymore. And unfortunately, it's not even just the coaches. Now the actual WNBA players are co-signing on top of this, as if they weren't struggling enough to even get viewership, as if they weren't complaining about pay and seeing themselves on the same level as men. Now, guess what? They don't mind playing with the men.
Trans rights now is our new battle. That's what I think I was saying, that the battles have changed. Our intentions been the same, but now the environment has changed. We see trans people's rights being, stripped away from them. There's a lot of discourse around trans athletes and what they can compete in. I would welcome a trans athlete on my team or against my team anytime. I don't think it's a problem in the world. It's just another way to kind of attack trans people. You know, we've seen players like Layshia Clarendon who stepped into that forefront and have been brave enough and courageous enough to kind of step up. So I guess that's the next battle that we have to fight as athletes. I think it's trans rights right now is our new battle. That's what I think I was saying.
Of women's sports. Can you believe this? Women are calling for their own demise in sports. Now, I agree with some of the comments. They were like, okay, let them play then. Let the men play with you then. Because when your butt is sitting on that bench, because that man is better than you, he's hooping better than you, jumping better than you, running better, then what are you going to say then? When your livelihood is threatened, because this is what you wanted, what will you say then? It's just stupid. It's stupid. And for those who are saying, oh, well, you know, this is just, they're just throwing the conversation around. This is not really happening. You're a liar. And the truth ain't in you.
And is dominating women's sports in France. He won Player of the Year, Domestic Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. Well, no duh, he's a 6'3" man playing against women. Just like all of these men that like to enter women's sports, they were mediocre before they transitioned to being a woman. Currently, he's playing in the women's Level 2 Pro, but prior to transitioning back in 2021, he was a Level 6, which is just a regional level. Here is the French basketball league system just for reference. Level 1 is the best of the best, and level 6, which he was, is the lower tier. So what does Julian do? He changes his name to Julie, pumps a bunch of hormones in his body in 2021, transitions to being a woman, and then 3 years later enters the league for women. Honestly, I don't know what's worse. People like Julian that need help or the people that enable it. WNBA, unfortunately, is a woke political machine, and I don't know why they don't just allow Julian to enter. He's the star player. He even said, if they contact me, I won't say no. And for all of these WNBA head coaches that like to enable this behavior, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Bring Julian.
So even if this isn't happening right now, you have a man who's playing for the WNBA overseas or the Women League overseas saying, hey, if they give me a call, I won't turn them down. Then you got the female coaches saying, yeah, you know, it's all about inclusion. We got to make sure that they're able to play with us. And then you got the women on the team saying, heck yeah. You know, this is the way forward in women's sports. Why not let the men come and play with us? So if you have all three of these things in agreement, what makes you think it won't happen? Y'all keep telling us that we're just getting huffy and puffy over nothing. And then years down the line, it comes into fruition and you can't take it back. I agree. These movies are predictive programming. And guess what? These people are so you know how one of the fruits of the spirit is long suffering, meaning you must have patience. These people have the patience of saints. They don't care how long it takes, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years. They don't care. They will put that plan in place. They will put that agenda up in place, and they will just march to it with little tiny baby steps until they hit their mark. If that's not faith, y'all, I don't know what is. But unfortunately, they're playing for the wrong side. But again, this is the hill that these women are willing to die on. I do not know why. There's so much love. For trans women being women. I do not understand it. And again, this is not a call to be harmful or anything like that. We should love everybody. If they're hungry, feed them. If they need clothing, put some clothes on their back. But what we should not be doing is one, acting like this is not a mental illness, and two, putting their issues above what has been fought so long and hard for. Women have fought for these spaces, and I would even say men have fought for their spaces as well. For us to just let a small minority of people come in with their delusions and tear everything down, and oh, they're tearing it down. Turtle ideology, absolutely. And they're winning. That's the problem. They are absolutely winning. And I feel so bad for the people who have been displaced from this. They can't get the girls, they can't get their time back. They can't go back and get that scholarship. They can't go back and get that acceptance letter to a school that they were trying to get into, through sports. They can't go back. And you have parents who care so much. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about your children, but they don't care what they do to other people, period. The young man who's in high school, A.B. Hernandez, somebody should take a belt to his mama's behind, because she has no sense. And she's so entitled. And she talks, just listening to her boils my blood. Because you're acting as though these girls did not fight hard and work hard for it. And again, fellow athletes, former athletes, y'all know what I'm talking about. And yes, I'm happy that this was not thought of when I was in high school, not even when I was in college. This was not a thing. I really cannot believe that we're here, y'all. I can't believe that we're here, but that's my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is just sad, y'all. All right. Let me go. I'll see y'all later. Have a good day.